Let's take a look at physics and see if we can understand what it is all about. Then I'll introduce you to rational physics. Rational, as in rational science or rational scientific method, simply means visualizable. Khan Academy says, physics is the study of matter, motion, energy, and force. Professor, what is physics?
Physics, from the word physique, meaning knowledge of nature, is the study of matter, its motion, how it behaves in time and space, and how it relates to energy and force.
What is an object, and what does it mean to exist?
That's not part of physics. That falls into the category of philosophy.
Yes, or so we're taught in high schools, colleges, and universities. Just try asking this question anywhere in academia. Stack Exchange and other internet education and research forums will delete your question or lock the comment thread and vote you out of existence. Not a single physics book or course defines the two crucial terms of physics that are central to their discipline, object and exist. Why? Not because they belong in philosophy, because it exposes their theories as nonsense. That person at stackexchange.com wanted to understand what was meant by exist when discussing structure or phenomena in physics. It is crucial to understanding the difference if one wishes to understand how Mother Nature does her invisible tricks. Science is the study of existence, and the golden rule of physics is one absolutely must have an object to do physics. Khan Academy defined physics as the study of matter and its motion. What is that if not structure and phenomena? The common use of the term, according to Merriam-Webster, for structure is a dwelling, shelter, or place for human activity. One simply must have a dwelling in which to dwell. We also learned in our early readers, see, spot, run. Without spot, there is no run, and without matter, there is no motion. The issue is using popular dictionary terms. In other words, conversational language instead of scientifically defined terms. In law, the legal definition for structure is defined as anything constructed or erected with a fixed location on the ground. Among other things, structures include buildings, mobile homes, walls, fences, billboards, and poster panels. This is a more clear and concise, rigorously defined term so that everyone understands what is meant by it. In other words, a child can understand that a structure is something somewhere. Compare that to Free Dictionary's definition. Something made up of a number of parts. One sees this sort of reasoning all too often in today's science, but that is mereology, which clearly belongs in philosophy, not physics. An object is not what it is made of. It is recognized by its form or shape. So what is a scientific definition? It is a restriction on the utility of a word. A scientific definition is unambiguous, non-circular, non-synonymous, clear and concise, and used consistently throughout one's presentation. How does rational physics think about object and exist? Objects have shape. To exist is to have shape and location. As discussed in our previous video, rational scientific method, all words fall into one of two categories. There are objects and there are concepts. It is very important in any conversation to understand the difference. In science, it is crucial that all terms which make or break an argument or presentation are defined scientifically in the hypothesis. Physics doesn't survive the professor's or Khan's Academy definitions, for energy and force are irrationally defined, and object or exist are not defined at all. Put in terms of physics, there are physical objects and phenomena. Physical objects, that is, objects which exist, have shape and location. Physics is the study of physical objects, objects with location, something somewhere. A circle is an object because it has shape. It can be illustrated. It does not have location with respect to all other existing objects. Draw a circle on a piece of paper with a pen. What exists is the ink and the paper. The circle is an abstract concept. Geometers invented. Geometry looks at types of shapes. Shape is understood by that which allows us to conceptualize what is inside and outside of a border. Space, the one intrinsic property common to all objects, is shape. This is an either-or situation. Objects have a shape, space does not. Therefore, space is not an object. Cut a circle out of a piece of paper and see that we still have shape. But it is now a disc-shaped piece of paper. The disc has the mutually orthogonal directions of length, width, and height, the three dimensions of reality. The disc exists because it has location with respect to all other existing objects. When the paper disc was cut out of the piece of paper, there was a hole or space left in the piece of paper where it was removed. Did we destroy paper? Did we create space from paper? Put the disc of paper back. Did we create paper from space? No, of course not. We simply changed the shape. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. It is eternal. By matter, I mean the sum of all objects being comprised of atoms. Object, that which has shape. Space, that which lacks shape. Without the concept space, we would not be able to conceptualize any existing objects because there would be no border or separation between them. We can take our ruler and measure the hole in the paper. We have not measured space. We have measured distance from one place on the paper to another place on the paper. Also, if there was no space or separation between objects, motion would be impossible. If we accept the definition for object, we see that all objects are finite. If there was no limit or border to an object, no other objects would be possible, and therefore there could be no motion. What is motion? It is two or more locations of an object. It is apparent that there is matter and motion. This is the default position one must take. To discuss this further generally is philosophy because it typically devolves into reasons and purposes. Physics is the branch of science that deals with causes and mechanisms. Naturally, we understand that matter and its motion are eternal. For how can nothing, that which lacks shape or space, become something? In other words, how can 0 dimensions instantly become the 3 dimensions of reality? It cannot. As we understand from our example above about paper, it is impossible for space to become matter or matter to become space. Also, how can there be a beginning to motion? If it is necessary for a first cause of movement, what moved the first mover? We go on forever recursively and never get to a first cause. Philosophers have been debating this for centuries. Rational science ends it right now. Lastly, we understand that all phenomena are the interactions between objects. We drew a circle on paper, and we cut out the circle with a pair of scissors. The objects were pen, paper, and scissors. The phenomena were draw and cut. There could be no draw without paper and pen. There could be no cut without paper and scissors. There can be no phenomena without two or more objects interacting. Can you name an exception?